Hello, I'm Judge Latrice Westbrooks, your candidate for the Mississippi Supreme Court Central District. This November's election carries with it historical importance for all Mississippians. Therefore, we cannot afford to sit this one out. I practiced for more than 20 years, and I understand that diversity of experience and perspective is critically important where decisions are made. I bring to the Supreme Court evenness that will benefit and serve real, everyday people. On November 3rd, vote for Latrice Westbrooks for the Mississippi Supreme Court.
Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back for another episode of Woman to Woman with Joanne. We are here with the beautiful Miss Cindy Ayers Elliot, owner of Footprint Farms, and she's just going to share with us about her farm and why it got started and what all she's doing to impact the community with her work. Hello, Miss Cindy.
Hello, Joanne, and thank you so much for having me with you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm so excited. I've been seeing so much about Footprint Farms and seeing the people post their boxes and pictures of their boxes on Facebook, and I'm like, I got to get me one of those boxes first and foremost.
Must.
But I think it's just beautiful what you're doing. Miss Cindy, whenever I got somebody on, I want to know where you were born and raised. So tell us where you were born and raised.
Well, I am native Mississippian. I'm actually 7th generation once removed.
Oh.
I always said I was the one that was removed to be brought back.
Right.
So I was reared in Mississippi most of my life. We were in and out because during that time, the 60s, when I was growing up, my grandparents was a big part of the civil rights movement. So I was a migrant moving around a lot because of different things that was going on in the state.
Right.
So I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of new cousins and friends in different parts of the country while they were doing that work at hand of the civil rights movement.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just tell me your experience about growing up in Mississippi.
Well, here in Mississippi, for me, it's my roots.
Yes.
So you have to enjoy and to know and to understand. During my youth, I was in and out of the state a lot.
Right.
But while I was here with my grandparents, I had the best life. I mean, you didn't know what you didn't know.
Right.
And at that time, my grandparents was always a part of the educational movement. So we didn't do a lot of agriculture pieces. We did more of the policies and more of working with people coming in, especially as I can remember the 60s. We had a lot of people coming from all over the country coming into Mississippi.
Yes.
And they actually had a safe house. So we had a lot of people coming in, stopping there. I can remember giving up my room to people that didn't look like us, that came from different places, that they needed a place to stay and food to eat before going deeper into Mississippi, into the Delta. So, you read about a lot of that, and I was hearing a lot of those stories, but I was still too young and removed directly from what was going on during that time. So for us in the neighborhood, in the community we were in, it was all family. Right. There were landowners that was there. They looked like us. They had other children that was working hard, but they were working for themselves. Right. So a big part of that. And when we look at how we grew up and the information we had, it was a good life. I have to say, my Mississippi is a beautiful thing.
Yes,
but you also got to understand our history and know that the history is real. But also, it can't just be his story. It needs to be the stories of Mississippians and truly what happened, good, bad, and indifferent.
Yes.
But we had a happy life. Going to church on Sundays, singing in the church choir, having those big dinners on the ground where everybody's cooking and eating and not worried about COVID-19.
Yes.
So it was a good life. A lot of cousins, my aunts, doing a lot of canning and preserving of their food. So I had great memories of the baking and the aroma of the bread being cooked. And I was my grandfather's favorite. That's what, don't tell my other cousins that.
I won't tell it.
And so we learned a lot, just from being there and being around. And of course, the part of leaving the state a lot, I got to see other places. Right. But mostly important, I got to read and about different places and then to see the things that I read about, which impacted my life to what I wanted to do.
Right.
To be able to see. I wanted to see Europe. I wanted to see the skyscrapers. I wanted to see Paris. Yes. And these from at a young age, but reading and listening to other people coming in to the household and being exposed to different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had a great life. Still have.
Yes, ma'am.
But even more so. My grandparents are, no longer with us, but they are.
Yes.
I stand on the shoulders of great ancestors,
Yes.
and I feel them daily, especially when I'm working on the farm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And when you were talking about those big dinners and everything, my favorite part of and church.
Yes.
My favorite part of church and those big dinners was whenever we were having like the choir anniversaries or the church anniversaries, and those church mothers would make that dressing with chicken in the middle. That was my favorite. I was always looking for that dressing with that chicken sitting in the middle.
of
Oh,
it.
that was the best stuff. I'm telling you. So, Miss Cindy, tell us a little bit about your farm. I want to get into this about Footprint Farms. Tell us about Footprint Farms, why you started Footprint Farms.
Well, Footprint Farms now is my legacy in the making.
Yes.
And the reason it was started was to do just that, to impact, to bring access for our community. Footprint Farms is located in the city of Jackson, Mississippi. We are an urban farm.
Yes.
In fact, we're the largest urban farm in the state of Mississippi.
Awesome.
When I tell everyone I'm a farmer, they said, well, you don't look like a farmer. I said, but I am.
Yes.
This is a new face of farming. This is a new way to make things happen, to address problems that are here, that we didn't create on our own.
Right.
But we have to look at how do we help find a solution. So after coming back home from New York and working, I always said I worked outside of Mississippi, outside of home, but I lived in Mississippi.
Yes.
I've only voted in one state. I've only paid homestead exemption in one state. I paid a lot of money in different places to live, but home was always Mississippi. And that's a commitment of the roots that my grandparents and great-grandparents had of making a difference right here at home.
Yes.
And today, we still look at that as our metaphor. How do we make a difference?
Right.
Again, Footprint Farms was to help our statistical data of health.
Yes.
When you look at diabetes and hypertension and heart disease, you look at our community first. Look at our state. We're number one in every statistics that's bad. And we're number 50th in everything that's good.
Yeah.
So identification of the problem was not the problem.
Right.
It was what could we do to help bring a solution?
Right.
And for me, it was health.
Yes.
And health was with food. So now food and health goes hand in hand.
Yes.
But if you don't have access to healthy foods or to even know about the access to healthy foods.
Right.
We talked about the church dinners. There was only certain food that you had,
Yes.
but you had a lot of vegetables.
Yes.
You had the greens and you had the beets and you had the sweet potatoes. So this was good food. It was healthy food.
Right.
So during our youth, we ate better than we did in our adulthood.
Definitely.
And when we start looking at fast foods, even more so, it made it worse. So the diabetes and hypertension not only grew during the time when we didn't have access to medicine, truly medicine, we were looking at natural herbs, which we actually did a lot better during that time than we're doing now.
Yes.
Because we were eating healthier foods. So for Footprint Farms and our mission, it was to bring access to healthy foods and right where we are in our communities.
Right. So where are you located in Jackson? I would love to come and see. Shame. I've never been there. I would love to come and see this huge farm in Jackson, Mississippi.
Well, you're more than welcome. We have 68 acres in the city. The farm sits on 68 acres. It is in West Jackson.
That is
West
huge.
Side.
Yes.
We're on South Drive. And it's a beautiful location right within communities. We have 68 acres that we farm, and we're buffered by 30 acres on one side and 80 on the other. So it's a vast of trees and open land right there. In fact, you think nothing is there but nature, but we're there. And we farm with USDA. We are a USDA harmonized GAP certified farm. Which means that we grow to the standards for restaurants, for schools, for CSAs, for selling our food anywhere. We choose to sell it and to bring it for our community.
Awesome.
So that anyone who wants to have access to healthy food can.
Awesome.
Another thing we've done is to be able to meet people where they are. We're also certified by USDA Nutrition. Which means just like grocery stores, we can take the SNAP and EBT cards for our food as well. So we did everything we could do to make sure we're meeting all the qualifications and all of the certifications that's put in front of us so that we can be where we are. We choose to be in West Jackson.
That's awesome.
I choose to be in the city of Jackson. I choose to be in the state of Mississippi.
Yes, ma'am.
And while we're here and doing what we are doing to help do just a little footprint of good things, that's what we will continue to do.
Awesome.
So right now, our mission is clear. There's no clouds in my focus.
Yes, ma'am.
I know I'm in the place where I should be, and I'm doing the things that I should do. And one of those reasons right now is being here sitting with you and talking about farming. We're talking about soil. We're talking about food.
Yes.
If you'd have told me this years ago and growing up, this is what I'd be talking about or my passion would be, I would say, wrong girl. Give me New York, give me Manhattan, give me Europe. But no, it's right here at home, right here in Mississippi.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, you guys, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with more Woman to Woman with Joanne.
1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
2, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed.
3,
There are more than 3.5 million breast cancer survivors in the U.S. alone.
making breast cancer the largest group of all cancer survivors.
4,
40,000 U.S. women will die this year due to breast cancer.
But I survived.
I survived,
I survived.
I survived.
and so will you.
Early detection is key.
Get screened today.
This is Stephen James with the Stephen James Foundation, and I want to welcome you to Pink Fridays, a fundraiser benefiting the American Cancer Society. We call it a party with a purpose. We have an awesome lineup of local talent and national artists. So please get your tickets at www.pinkfridays2020.eventbrite.com. I'm Stephen James. I want to welcome you to Pink Fridays exclusively on ICTV.
All right, and we are back with Miss Beautiful Cindy Ayers Elliot. Miss Cindy, I was looking at your website and all the things that you're doing, and I see that you're working with the youth and everything. Talk to me about what you do with the youth in the city of Jackson.
Well, let me tell you how important our youth are.
Yes.
We started back about 8 years ago, and we were working with Wingfield High School, the football team.
Oh,
You never thought of football team, right?
right.
In the city of Jackson, the closest school to me was Wingfield. So we started talking with the coach about healthier foods. He wanted to get the football players healthier to win games, but also just to bring health to them overall.
Right.
So we started talking about what we could do together and how we could make something work. So we started our first 4-H group.
4-H.
The football team became our 4-H group.
Okay.
They
awesome.
became the George Washington Carver Future Scientists of America.
Oh, awesome.
4-H group. So we had to identify and let them identify to who they could be,
Yes.
not what everybody was telling them they are. And a big part of that was about health, but it was also about the educational component of bringing the community together, to let those young men know they are important.
Yes.
They had a place. They could do great things. They could go to college, to universities, and they never thought that far ahead. A lot of them had never left their communities. So just by becoming a 4-H member, being a part of what we were doing, got them exposed to a lot of things,
That's wonderful.
including national TV.
Wow.
They actually leased from the farm 1 whole acre of land for $1.
Who does
The
it?
football team
That's
did at that time.
awesome.
Right now we have other farmers that's doing the same thing.
Okay.
But they actually had a crop of melons. They grew watermelons, but they didn't just grow them. They understood what they were doing. So we used the watermelons and ag to the things they were learning, should have been learning at school anyway. How do you relate them together? You did math, you did science.
Right.
You had to do economics because you had to save your money, spend your money.
Yes.
What do you do with it? To let them realize this is a big part of how life works.
Yes.
And you can do this and you can do it yourself. You don't have to depend on going to the streets. That's the other way you can make money.
Yes.
They made a lot of money that summer.
That is awesome.
It changed them.
Yeah.
It changed the way they were thinking. So for us, we can do anything. We just got to bring our children in
Yes.
and help them and show them what they can do. So a lot of them now have graduated from universities, Some of them are actually doing agriculture farming.
See, that's awesome. I'm
and
so excited about
They
that.
broke a chain. So working with youth, as with anyone who wants to look at how can I do things differently, is a big part. We always say at Footprint Farms, we do more than just plant seeds in the soil. We also plant seeds in the minds of what you can do and how you can do them. So we're excited still to be a part of 4-H and doing a lot of workshops for a lot of youth. Into schools, we're still working. That's not 4-H groups, just schools in general.
Right.
With our community, with churches that has youth groups. So different ways to do different things is a big part of it. But adults as well, their families.
Yes.
We are able to work closely with the youth, but also their families. So it truly is a family affair
That is so
of what we're
awesome.
doing and how we're doing it. And we're excited about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So they were able to lease a plot of land or an acre of land, and
For
they grew
$1.
their own stuff.
And we sold it. We showed them how to go to the market with it. And for when they sold that, they could keep the money, but only after they paid for their seeds.
Yeah.
They paid themselves back out of the profit. So they understood the importance of what costs what. So when they were planting the melons, and I told them that this little seed here, this little one seed, will make you 10 melons possibly. And it costs you a penny. And each of those melons you could sell for $9. How much money are you making?
Wow.
They could do the math real fast on that.
Yeah.
And they were counting their melons every day.
Yes.
So they didn't just come and just throw it. They intentionally put things in place. So for us, it was about being intentional of what you're doing.
Yes.
To look at what your outcome will be. For this, it was just a watermelon seed. But it was truly a test and a way of life for them to understand. This is a part of how it works.
Yes.
You have to be deliberately. You have to be direct in what you're doing. And that's with life and what you want to do and what you want to be. Be direct with it
Awesome.
and see that input.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me about, you were telling, we talked a little bit before the show, and we were talking about helping adults and growing their own food and talk to me about it. I
Yeah,
forgot what you
well,
called it.
it's about course farming and learning how to grow. We have several programs. One is I Can Grow That.
Okay.
And I Can Grow That, we teach, you can grow in a coffee can. We show you what you can take of what you have and make food or to make it grow and to have something healthy right there beside you.
Right.
We're also doing right now water-based. We're doing aeroponics.
Aeroponics.
Aeroponics. And aeroponics is, aero means going straight up, and aponics means we're working with some type of water.
Okay.
In this case, it's water in a tower, and it's self-containing. It turns itself on, it turns itself off.
Wow.
It waters itself. And you don't have to have land, acres to eat healthy. You can grow it in your living room. You can grow it in your kitchen. You can grow it on your stoop. And for a lot of families who want to eat healthy, they don't have land.
Right.
You know, they don't have outdoors. They don't have equipment to do things with. But there's other ways that you still can bring some healthy items into your home to help integrate in what you're doing with it.
Right.
And right now, we hope to have this paper released and published probably in the next 30 days of how do you grow water-based.
Yes.
And especially for urban areas, but anyone can do it.
Right.
And right now we have our young people and people in general looking at having their whole farm being only water-based. They can have a room, a 9x10 room, and have their own farms. So there's ways and things that can work differently. And we have to look at this differently.
Yes.
You know, we always talk about the soil, which is so important for growing food. But God gave us the soil. He gave us the air. He gave us the sun and the wind. All of these components is needed to grow anything.
That's right.
So why not utilize it even more so? And this time, it's time for us to do things differently.
Yes.
You know, like I said, it's technology is important. Utilizing technology, and we use it as much as possible. And everybody has a place at the table.
Yes.
And the things that they do and what they can do. From the candle maker who's still making the candles for the light, you know, to the ones who's learning to try to fly the drones.
Yes.
Now we're utilizing that technology on how do we farm with it. We're able to use these things to make it better. And these young folks, they're the ones that when you bringing them on, they can do a computer program like this.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of things we should utilize and utilize them in where they are. You know, agriculture is a big thing.
Yes.
It's so much more than just putting seeds in the soil.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we're going to take another short break, and we'll be right back with more Woman to Woman with Joanne.
My name is Amika Coleman, and I am the founder and CEO of Strands of Faith. Strands of Faith is a faith-based hair and beauty lifestyle brand, and we focus on providing moisturizing products for dry hair textures. Our products are geared towards naturals who have dry textures and they need to replenish the moisture in their hair, so they offer a great moisture balance. And also for those naturals who want to grow their hair to long lengths, our products are great because they offer length retention. We currently have 9 products. 6 products are featured in our Holy Grail collection. That's our main collection that focuses on moisture. And then we have 3 additional products that were added later: a shampoo bar, a sealing oil, and a moisturizing styling custard. Our products are handmade in small batches, and we use quality ingredients. And our goal is to create our products to be as clean as possible, so we don't use harsh ingredients. And also, I test each product on my hair first before they're ever placed in the hands of the consumer. We pray over each of our products, and they're made with a ton of love and a lot of faith.
Hello, I'm Court of Appeals Judge Latrice Westbrooks, and I'm running for the Mississippi Supreme Court because I'm qualified, dedicated, and fair. I have over 23 years of experience in practice and on the bench. As an attorney, I often fall for those who could not fight for themselves. I believe everyone deserves equal justice in our courts. Now is our chance to shift the needle of justice in a direction that ensures fairness to everyone. Let's continue to move Mississippi forward. On November 3rd, vote for Latrice Westbrooks.
All right, you guys, we are back with more Woman to Woman with Joanne, and we're still here talking with the beauty, Miss Cindy Ayers Elliot. Miss Cindy, talk to me a little bit about agritourism. Can you tell me what that means? And like I was telling you, I didn't want to sound ignorant and not know, but I know if I don't know, y'all don't know either. Don't be acting like y'all know.
Well, we do know, you just don't know you know. Okay. So it's tourism. It's about tourism, by coming to any place, seeing any things. We go to our great museums, that's part of tourism.
Yes.
Well, agrotourism is about agriculture tourism and actually coming to the farms and understanding where your food comes from. Awesome. So you're touring the earth pretty much and what it grows and everything else that goes with it. So when you're doing agrotourism at Footprint Farms, you're coming to the farm. We have Airbnb. It's called Anime's Cottage. You can actually come and rent a cottage and actually spend a week, a month, or a year if necessary. Really? And utilizing what's on the farm. If you want to come and eat off the farm, that's part of agrotourism. You want to come and see the flowers that's growing, that's agrotourism. You want to come and fish, or you want to come and be a writer. We have a lot of writers, authors that actually come to the farm just for the atmosphere of being able to write. Yes. We've had agrotourism. We had studios come to the farm to actually use the property to shoot some of their films. Awesome. Agrotourism, utilizing the land and farms right here in the city with something else that's different. How do you utilize what you have? Being a Black woman in Mississippi and being in business, I couldn't just be one level and not do but one thing. Right. It's important that in business, you be self-rounded. So for us, we're utilizing the land. We have a great lake for fishing. We got fish this big. Another reason to come out and right here in the city. So you could vacation a short day trip or a weekend trip and actually do something that you have to go miles away from to do right in your own backyard. Wow. So we want to utilize what we have, the beauty of the land, the animals that we have there, the opportunity to see the tractors working, to see our farmers, harvesting, to see how we grow the food, bringing in, and then get it from the seed to your table. Yes. All important parts. We also have a meeting space. We do farm to table dinners, coming, eating food from the farm, on the farm. Right. Bringing in people to see where you are and to be proud of who you are and what you have to offer. And we're doing that right here in the city of Jackson.
This is just so amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
So I can take a little trip.
A day trip.
Over in West Jackson.
Absolutely. Do a day
and
trch.
Fish and
just fish. Archery. We have different experts doing different things in what you want to do. Yes. That we are offering on the farm. Awesome. And that's the important part. But if you just want to come and rock or shell peas or go back in the day that our ancestors used to do and just sit and rock, go and harvest your greens and pick them, and then take them into your cottage and prepare them. Or be very lucky and have one of these great chefs that we have who love to come to the farm to actually come and prepare your meals for you, or to come in. It's like a pizza. What do you want on it? You want dinner for two, or you want dinner for 222?
Wow.
And that's utilizing the food, but also the talent that we have right here in Mississippi, the great chefs that's out here, that's doing great food, and being able to take it. I love it when they can take the greens and the peas and make these beautiful dishes that you want to come back and eat more of.
Yes.
And that's how we grow. That's how we highlight each other.
Right.
So for us, Footprint Farms, we love chefs. We have vegan chefs to come out. We have vegans who want to come, a place they can come and get affordable food.
Yes.
Which is another key.
Yes.
It's healthy and affordable.
Right.
And it's right here within 5 miles of you.
Yes.
And this is Footprint Farms. This is what we do and why we do the things. But we also encourage young people, other people to come and see what you can take from it, what you might want to do.
Right.
You know, if you don't want to grow in the soil, grow in the water.
Right.
If you don't want to grow, market it. If you don't want to market it, tell someone else about it. Or better yet, come and take a little piece home with you, because we're also doing value added. You know, we're taking the tomatoes and we're going to be making tomato sauce.
Awesome.
We're looking at how do we waste less food? How do we get food to our communities?
That's a big
And that's
issue.
one of the ways you keep your costs down, is to utilize what you have. So look at every component of it and make it work. It's a business,
Yes.
but it's also a passion.
That's
And it's
it.
the one that's making a difference right here in the city.
That is beautiful,
Yeah.
Miss Cindy.
Thank
This
you.
has been wonderful.
It's a lot of
I
fun.
don't want it to end. I
Come
want
and
to
see
keep
me.
talking.
Come on
I'm
down.
definitely going to come and see you. We
Well,
are going to take us a day trip.
You got to come and take a day trip. Until
Yes.
then, we can do virtual. You can actually see us on Facebook.
Yes,
Some
ma'am.
of the things that we're doing on Instagram. You can. We post a lot of what we're growing. Right now, we're growing this beautiful sorrel, which is a natural vitamin C. We bring in seeds from around the world, and we actually grow things right here in Jackson that normally is not grown. Traditionally, we haven't. But we're not all about tradition anymore.
That's
we're
right.
about setting new traditions, making things happen differently.
Right.
But always remember, we're standing on our ancestors' shoulders,
Yes, ma'am.
and not forgetting the importance of taking care of the land and its people.
Yes, yes, ma'am. This is awesome. Miss Cindy, tell the people how they can reach you if they want to set up a time. You can tell them your website or a number, or how they can reach you to come out and visit the farm.
Yeah, well, they can go to any social platform. Go to Footprint Farms MS. That's footprintfarmsmississippi.com. Go to Instagram, Footprint Farms. Facebook, Footprint Farms. TikTok, Footprint Farms.
you're on TikTok too. What?
Now it goes back to working with our young
with the
people,
youth.
another thing of what they see and how they market, and what how do you get to someone? So you have to meet them where they are, and for us, we got to get where they are.
Yes, ma'am.
In doing that, but I'm excited about it. But they can come and they can say, Siri, find me that farmer lady in Jackson, Mississippi. Footprint
And it's
Farms will
gonna
come up.
That is awesome.
So we're excited about it, and we want more people to come. Hopefully, after this pandemic, we'll be able to do more into the agritourism, more into students coming there. But right now, we're staying as safe as possible, and trying to make sure everyone else is safe as possible from the food that we grow. So we're limited to who can come in right now. Even though it's 68 acres, we still do social distancing.
That's right.
But I'm going to go. But I want to say one thing. We have some great farmers. Footprint Farms is so much more than me.
Yes.
We have great farmers there. We have Mr. Danny, we have Mr. Will, we have Shay, we have Wendy, we have Jason, we have Jaron, we have a lot of people. We have Jeff. Everybody's making a difference. LeGrand, my son, is now teaching how do you fish. He's the one to go to the lake to catch fish this big, and he takes a photo and he puts it back. So you could be feeding some families with this.
Give me that fish.
He said, let me show them how. So we do more than just catch the fish for them. We teach them to fish. And that is so many different ways at Footprint Farms.
So thank you so much, Miss Cindy.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Woman to Woman with Joanne. And we look forward to seeing y'all next week. Goodbye.
If you would like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to sponsor an episode, please reach out to us. You can email us at joanne@womantowomanwithjoanne.com.